Hello, and welcome back to my episodic adventures in the Stanley Parable. In today's video, we're going to be doing the museum ending, which is personally one of my favorite endings. But let's get into it. I'll tell you guys more about it once we kind of get there and start exploring. I can tell you more about it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my gosh, I got the new content door. We will do that later. I want to get all the endings first.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
If I'm going a little fast, just a heads up, you guys can, like in the previous episodes, I give him more time to talk and everything. I just like to say that.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty excited because, I don't know, this is one of my favorite endings. In the very first game when I played this, I was kind of so enthralled by it a little bit. I don't want to spoil it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I don't want to talk over her, but yeah, man, this is like one of my favorite endings, actually. It is the museum ending. And as we walk through here, you guys are going to be able to see, like, development process. You know, this blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game. So sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core, though the core layout remains most identical to the first iteration. Like, this kind of stuff, I think it's really, really, really cool. Because, you get to see the developmental process. And ever since I was younger, I've always been into game development and expressing my stories through it. So being able to see how they made the game and how they kind of expressed their ideas through it is just it's a really cool experience. I'm not gonna read every single sign, but I'll stop over them for a little bit, and if you guys want to pause and read them, feel free to. I don't know, it's so cool being able to see kind of like the thought process, I guess you could say. Got all the compute. I don't know, it's so cool, and the way that it's like a almost heavenly kind of place with just pure white, and then the narrator turns into like a very soothing voice, you know what I'm saying? A maintenance room. You guys haven't seen that ending yet, but eventually we'll get there. If I'm not wrong, I think that that ending is the confusing ending, which is definitely one of the longer ones. Oh, this part's very interesting. I'll read it because I actually do find this part interesting. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters. Not our intention. I remember when I first found this ending, I definitely, you know, ever since I was younger, shooters were some of the games that I started with. And so, I don't know. I kind of wish they would have included this ending because it would have been kind of neat as someone that kind of started out with shooters. Would have been really funny to see what ideas they had for this sort of ending. But it's cool that it lives on in a way in this little section of the museum. The narrator emails. Yeah, I'm glad they changed the lounge though, because you know I'm a lounge lover. I'm the Stanley Parable lounge lover, and you know I'm glad they added that blue because I think it adds to it. I wonder if they replaced this ending with the unplugging ending, which I think was a good idea because it definitely like it's more hidden, and when you find it and when you do it, it just kind of seems like a cooler ending. Super interesting though. Just like seeing the different iterations. I think what they finalized on their end product for the cargo lift was, I don't know, the best version. I think they did really well with that. And they have all the different endings. Sad we can't pull the levers. I will do the Zending ending. That one is going to be a little bit in the future, though. I don't know specifically when I have all the endings planned out and such. I want to make sure that all the content is included in here, so you guys aren't missing anything. Yeah, I think they did a good job on their marketing. In general, I enjoy their Makes Sense and such. Stanley Parable, I was always a fan of the way that it kind of represented itself and everything. See, this is the kind of stuff. I just love the slow development where they kind of show how they got things built and then started adding to it. Also, I do like that the escape sign is just like a board of wood. It just looks a lot more like thrown together, but it definitely pulls the eye a lot more, and it's neat. I like the way they
Stanley
ended up doing
pushed
it.
the big red button. Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about their throat?
I definitely can't even imagine, because like the narrator and how many lines he had to record. Just with my video essays, sometimes I have to, re-record a paragraph or a line after I've recorded it like quite a few times, because I just, you want it to sound good so people continue to be interested in it. And I can't even imagine what it'd be like for this type of game where you have like so many different endings and every single thing that the player can do has like a different line. It's extremely impressive. That's part of the reason I love this game so much, is because they definitely didn't shy away from committing to having a line for whatever the player decides to do. We already were down here. I like it. I feel like the finalization, they did a really good job of making it kind of feel cramped, and then like I like how they removed the second monitor, and they did a very good job of building the atmosphere of the game, and I don't know, it's super cool. I am extremely impressed with this game. I think it was one of the very first games I ever played that was more of a unique game, like challenging the continuous I don't know, like unoriginality of other games, because there's just some games that like, it's a shooter and it's a shooter, like that makes sense, but this one was such a unique game when I first played it that it just kind of blew my mind and exposed me to the idea that games can be a form of art, and kind of endless what you can do with video games, and they're a form of storytelling too.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
That is the ending of the museum ending. Think? Yeah, okay. I didn't know if they added extra stuff or not. I didn't think they did. But that is the ending of the museum ending. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's one of my more favorite endings. I hope you enjoyed, you know, me kind of discussing it and such. But thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, you can go check out, you know, the very first one I did. Gives, you know, the intro and more stuff. And there's just a ton of other videos. And I think every single video explores a different ending. So there's just new stuff to go watch that should be entertaining for you if you enjoyed this one. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one, and peace.